Hello everybody, it's me, Max, and let's get to what you came here for. Can you beat Half-Life 1998 without killing a single enemy? I found myself asking this question to my wall while thinking of new video ideas with my stupid little demotivated brain. And so I embarked on a pacifist, spiritual journey through Half-Life. Now first, let me tell you the rules that I set for this video. I am not allowed to kill any enemy. Basically, any living thing that moves is not allowed to be killed directly by me. So no shooting them to death, crowbarring to death, blowing up to death, and I'm not allowed to use any grenades or mines to kill people either. I also cannot use saving and loading cheese to avoid enemy attacks. And the difficulty must be set at hard, cause I ain't no pussy! The game begins with, okay, let's just get right to the point. I'll be covering every chapter from first to last, but we are skipping Black Mesa Inbound and Anomalous Materials simply because we don't even get any guns or weapons to hurt anybody with, as much as I'd like to hurt them. Unforeseen consequences, the first chapter of actual enemies to avoid. And well, it's very easy. You'll be seeing a lot of the first tactic I'll be using during the whole run. Very complicated and hard to understand. You see, it's called
Run like hell.
Yeah, if you're trying to not kill things, you obviously have to run from them. And the enemies here are super easy to avoid. Most of the chapter I just blazed through, and it was actually pretty easy to get past the squid shark during the sewer section due to it being preoccupied being racist against head crabs. Office complex wasn't too hard. I didn't encounter my first hurdle though. This vent with multiple head crabs in it. Oh no! What in the world could I ever do? I thought for a second, and well, all I had to do was lure them out and try not to get hit by any of them. The next hurdle was a hallway with multiple Vortigaunts. I was very worried about this part considering there are 10 of them standing around in there, with 2 upstairs waiting for me as well. And the beginning proved difficult as I quickly got zapped into next week. I also figured out that the barnacles are actually game enders too, since, well, once they catch you, you are screwed. You can't kill them to escape them. I did find a way out, which was actually way closer than I thought it was, but I still got zapped to death. This is when I employed a tactic I like to call the, hey bro, let's throw hands, JK lol. When you walk up to a Vortigaunt, and I mean really walk up to it, get close, get to know it and its IP address, that kind of thing. They will stop whatever they are doing, most of the time, and slap the hell out of you. Which gives you a chance to cancel their range attacks, and to run by them scot-free just by bumping into them. I had to retry this part tons of times though, till I didn't get hit at all. Yeah, did I ever mention I'd be saving and reloading constantly throughout the playthrough? If I got damaged too much, well, I'm just out of luck. So I have to load a previous save to get that health. After like 20 tries, I finally got past that part with a good amount of health left, with some good saving techniques. And I got to the door where I met Barney. He was not too helpful right now, as he shot me while I walked past him. But
that's a surprise tool that can help us later.
I managed to find a secret room with grenades and health, which would prove very useful in the future. The freezer part was not difficult at all. I managed to avoid the bull squids, met a few head crabs in the vents, but luckily the vents were just large enough for me to squeeze right past them. Thank God.
Open the silo door! They're coming for us! It's our only way out! Oh my God.
Yeah, now this is where the run actually starts getting hard. After the scientist blows up, I encounter the first turrets I'll be seeing during the run. And no! Turrets do not count as enemies. At least in my eyes. I see them as obstacles, so I'm allowed to destroy them. They don't breathe, they don't walk, they're not conscious, so don't even try to say these things count as enemies. It's already hard enough to deal with all the other threats, alright? So I did run past most of them, but I did have to destroy some that were guarding the silo door. Sadly, the scientists did not make it. I then met the first soldier that thankfully targeted the scientist instead of me. But now you guys are gonna see why you need to stock up on so much health, and it's because of all these damn soldiers, man. We've got hostiles really want you to know that you've indeed got hostiles. And the freaking HECU dudes have their freaking hit scan weapons ready to annihilate you. So it's pretty luck-based whether or not you get shot a bunch of times or get shot at all. I had to use the scientists as meat shields as I stopped by to get some extra health and power. I then blew up a few turrets, and then I made it to the hardest part of the chapter. 3 soldiers in this room, and 3 ahead of the room. I died a bunch of times in the first room despite the human shields, but I managed to get by with only a slither of health left. And then I realized I had to reload a save because I had nowhere near enough health. After trying a few more times, I jumped past the soldiers, thanks to their terrible AI, and I made it to the elevator up, and met even more hit scanners. Although, luckily, this soldier accidentally left his oven on or something, letting me get the health I need. I managed to run past everyone and got into the bunker first try, quickly jumped through the vents, and finally opened the stupid silo door. Blast Pit was pretty easy, surprisingly. I used the run like hell tactic a lot, and it worked like a charm. And then I reached the actual Blast Pit, the 3 tentacle dudes, and activating everything for the fire to kill the tentacles was pretty easy too, as most of the enemies were either the little tiny scrunkles, oh my god, I love them, or the head crab zombies, which are super easy to avoid. Now, unfortunately, I know I'm gonna get comments claiming that killing the tentacles count as killing 3 enemies, and to that I say, go fuck yourself! But to be fair, yeah, it might count as me killing them, since I do need to press the button. But at the same time, they don't walk around, but they are aliens, and I must kill them in order to progress. Since the exit legit won't exist unless I kill them, I will be counting these guys as meta kills, since the exit only exists after they're dead. Technically, you can say I failed the challenge. I personally don't agree with that, but one thing I made sure of is that I made the other security guard get killed early so he doesn't get blown up by the fire I summoned. Haha, funny thing about this chapter, I skipped it using the trip mines. Although it did take me quite a while to place the mines correctly, because I'm a stupid, dumb, stupid idiot who never speedran Half-Life until now. Oh god, on a rail. This chapter was pure torture, I swear to god. Now, the first part was easy. Even though I didn't have a cart to ride, I could still go on the edges and avoid the electric railings. I was also able to slip past the cart elevator and jump through the electrified water. The first set of tunnels was not too hard, but reaching the next elevator section, I had to constantly reload saves just to get past this one electrified railing without taking too much damage, since I had to become a damage sponge up ahead due to the many HECU dudes that will shoot at you during the elevator section. I managed to climb up the ladder without taking too much damage, and I had to use a box as cover to get as close to the next soldier as possible before making a run for it. Luckily, the soldier I'm pretty sure is programmed to always shoot a grenade on sight, which meant I was always able to get past him without taking any damage. And the next part, I had to run past a war of soldiers and Vortigons, and I died like 50 times. Definitely the hardest part of the run so far, but I was eventually able to run past them with a good amount of luck. And I only had 29 health to spare.
Fracture detected.
Okay, 48 health to spare. A few reloads later, I just barely managed to run by and take some bullets before running into even more enemies, Jesus Christ. Luckily, I had Barney by my side to protect me while I figured out what to do next. Oh wow, only 29 health, and I saved right in front of a head crab. Well, I was able to dodge him, and thankfully there were 3 suit batteries up in the ceiling I was able to grab, which helped me get past the enemies and avoid the big gun up ahead. And I reached the missile. Oh yeah, of course there has to be another soldier there to mess with me. At this point, I barely had any health to spare, and it's getting harder and harder to flee from, well, absolutely everything? I was unable to take the other carts because the soldier would just snipe me as I rode it, so I had to surf on the sides of the electric path yet again. This part took me so long to do because I needed all the health I could get, and I knew that just getting hit once would ruin the run for me. I ran past a whole bunch of ambush guys, and I went the wrong way, meeting a friendly HECU soldier.
What's up, baby girl?
The tunnels were a bit of a pain because I forgot where to go, but I made it to the part with the sentries and bombs, dealt with them promptly with well-placed grenades, and then I ducked and weaved through the big gun and the soldiers. Once I reached outside, I forgot that I didn't kill the other guy behind me. So I had to quickly run past this part with barely any freaking health to spare. I somehow managed to jump past them with only 16 health left, god damn. And can you guess what was behind those solid doors? 3 more soldiers. It seemed impossible. I tried many times to get back here with more health, but it didn't seem possible. They would always gun me down no matter how good I got from the AI, NRNG, whatever, I don't know. Was this it? Was I finally defeated? Well, how was I ever gonna get past these guys? I don't know what to do. But then, I realized that the HECO soldiers did not like being shot at. And if I just managed to damage them enough, they would enter a "Oh, I'm hurt! Oh!" state and try to retreat. Hey, I said I was not allowed to kill a single enemy. I never said anything about hurting them. And using this tactic, I just barely managed to make it past them. Wow, that was a close one. What do I have to deal with next? Oh, I forgot that there are 2 more soldiers in this damn building. Well, thankfully, after 20 tries, I managed to run past them and into the missile launching office thingy, and I was hoping that the missile launching would kill everyone there, but nope, they were all still there alive and ready to shoot me. And I only have 1 health left. I did manage to sneak past those idiots again, but now I had to find a way to run past these guys at the launch site without getting a single shot in my body. But I had a trick up my sleeve. I thought of a new tactic. I call it the "oh shit" tactic. Basically, with the way how the HEU soldiers AI works, if they see a grenade land at their feet, most of the time, they will run like hell. And I had a bunch of grenades at my disposal. All I had to do was make sure I didn't kill any of them with the grenades. And because I'm on hard mode, a lot of the time they had just enough health to survive a grenade blast. And after oh so many tries, I finally got lucky and managed to run past them without getting shot a single time. And I know for a fact I didn't kill anybody, because while running away I did not hear any gun drop on the ground. And every time they die, they drop their guns. But I finally made it to the end of this godforsaken chapter. Pretty short chapter, and not too hard. I rode through the soldiers with the cart like a frickin' boss, and swam over the part with the ichthyosaur. Thankfully, you can skip this part, but I had to do it in a different way than just using a barnacle, because, well, I can't frickin' kill the barnacles. So instead, I did an epic grenade launch to boost to the other side. This was by far the coolest I felt in the whole run. Yes, I am that sad of a person. I then came up to a part that almost ended the run completely. This room right here has 3 Vortigaunts and a few headcrabs. And this scientist right here refuses to open the door until all the aliens are dead. I've hit a roadblock. I didn't know what to do. I tried to get a bull shark to kill the Vortigaunt, but that didn't work. Was this the end? What? Why, what? What? For some reason, sometimes the door would just randomly be open when I ran in. I had no idea how it was happening, but it definitely was happening. After a few tries of just running in and attacking the enemies, but not killing them, I was able to see the door open and I ran right into the freezer room. It took me a while to wait for this glitch to happen though. I legit have no idea why in the world this glitch was happening, but you can clearly see the enemies are still alive. If you know why this is happening, let me know in the comments below, because I genuinely do not know how it was happening. The freezer was pretty easy to get through. I just had to bait out the melee attacks and dodge the head crabs. The hallway full of Vortigaunts was pretty painful, but I managed to jump over them and use barrels as cover so I didn't get zapped. But then I reached the assassins. They weren't too hard to deal with, actually. I mostly just ran quickly through the area and enabled the gates. They kind of just left me alone after I got up on the platform.
Welcome to the family, son.
Very boring chapter of minimal enemies to deal with. There were a few bull squids that posed a little bit of issues, but otherwise I got past with a bit of health intact. Pretty annoying chapter, though. Oh, screw this chapter. At this point, I knew I was reaching the end of this game, and I was surprised I was actually able to reach it this far without too much trouble. But wow, this chapter took my soul. First, I had to jump over and quickly avoid a bunch of the scrunkles! And then I have to deal with all the damn H-E-S-U-B-B-oo-boo-boo-boo-boo soldiers ahead. Thankfully, though, we have the GOAT himself, Barney! And Barney has a cracked out pistol for some reason, because I let him upstairs and he quickly went sicko mode on every single HEU soldier. He legit single-handedly murdered everyone for me, and I wasn't complaining. But unfortunately, he got ambushed and murdered by a hidden dude. And now I was all alone. I did manage to run past all the guards and started infighting between the soldiers and the alien stuff. And I reached the other side of the complex where there was a full war going on. And it took me quite a while to survive activating all of the laser doohickeys to activate the big laser doohickey. After all the bull squids died, I was their only damn target. The only thing good about this level is that I was finally able to get my hands on the most useful weapon, the Tau Cannon. The Tau Cannon is great. The Tau Cannon allows me to propel myself through the sky without needing to blow my legs apart with explosives. And right now it wasn't too useful, but later on, oh boy, you'll see. This whole section took me about an hour to beat, and the reason why is after I reached the scientists, there is this head crab room that posed a really big issue. The scientists are pussies and refuse to run past them like a real man. So they just stand there, or run off in the opposite direction. I tried for a long time to lead them out of the area, but it didn't work as they would just keep coming back. So I decided to load a previous save and go through all that pain again with the lasers, except this time I saved Barney for the end. I don't know how I managed to run past the HECU, but I did. And I made it back to Barney by using grenades from the SMG, which are actually really good at distracting soldiers. I then had to body block for Barney as he killed all the HECU guards so I could bring him to the scientists here safely. And I was able to lead Barney back over to the head crab room, and he dispatched them for me. Thank you, Barney! Alright, boys and girls and they-thems, if you thought On the Rail was bad, oh, you don't know nothing about this chapter. Do you hate HECU soldiers? Well, too bad. This chapter is all HECU soldiers, around every single damn corner. I took care of the sentries outside and ran past everyone there using a few grenades as distractions. I jumped straight into the dam to open until I realized, oh yeah, I gotta activate the fans first. So I did that and went back down. And then I remembered, oh yeah, there's an ichthyosaur here! After many tries, I did manage to get the gates open just enough for me to squeeze past, and now here comes the true pain. There's a whole bunch of open areas here where an Apache tries to shoot you to death. And I used the Tau Cannon to get to the other side of the first part quickly, then I used it again to reach the hatch opener, but then I quickly keeled over and died, because all the soldiers saw me zip right by and go into the place they're protecting. I had to use what little ammo I had left of the Tau Cannon to get a little boost, and I just managed to get past all of them. I easily traversed the minefield and got into the hatch, and I reached the cliff face. And then I reached a dead end. All the HECU soldiers would never take their eyes off of me and would constantly shoot me as I tried to jump past them on the canyon. I tried what must have been 100 times, literally, to get past them, but I just couldn't. I was thinking maybe I just didn't have enough health, but to get more health I had to reload my save way before. So I thunk real hard, the hardest I've ever thunked, and I realized something. An old friend that I never needed until now. The Snark! The one saving grace of my run. I found out there's 5 Snarks you can get behind a cage in questionable ethics. So I reloaded a save from earlier, thankfully not too far back, and basically said, hold on guys, BRB, I gotta go get something real quick, I'll be right back. And I went back into the lab to acquire the Snorks. Now, before I continue, I needed to make a rule for the Snarks. And I made possibly the most controversial decision that if a Snark kills a soldier, it won't count as me directly killing enemies. This is because 1, the run will be literally impossible without using Snarks, and 2, I cannot control them to stop them from killing something. I just can't. So I threw my hands and I was like, I didn't do it, the Snark did it. It's its own living, breathing human thing that what? It's its own living, breathing thing that gets spawned just when I click the shoot button. I'm really sorry, but I had to do this, since people kept getting killed by the snarks and it was just so annoying and impossible. I had to restart every time. So I made it back to the canyon, and now I tried to use snarks to distract the soldiers, but I really was not able to distract them for long enough since I only had 5 of the little guys. I came up with a plan, and oh boy, did I come up with one. Remember the Tau cannon? Yeah, I'm gonna tall jump all the way across the cliff. That shouldn't be too hard, right? I never really practiced the Tau jumping before, but now would be a good time to. I mean, really, how long could it take? This part took me 4 hours to pull off. Anyways, I finally made the jump after hours of tries. Jesus Christ! Yes, 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 yes. Then I reached even more HECU soldiers, god damn it. I went through the tunnel and got behind the tank. I had to use my 3 last snarks to distract the soldiers long enough to slip by. Thankfully, the missile guy sucked at hitting me, so I was easily able to avoid him and pick up some extra health and batteries. Then I used a Tau jump to skip over the electric fence and got directly into the mine warehouse place, which was about the same difficulty as the base game. Thank you for your sacrifice, Barney. You will be missed dearly. I made it into the supply building and got stocked up on grenades and a bunch of other stuff. Thankfully, Barney had already came back to life as a duplicate and was able to help me deal with the HECU soldiers I had to run past to get in here. Although, I had to restart a couple of times because Barney insisted on dying over and over again. Then I did some epic parkour and avoided the sniper behind me, only getting shot twice, luckily. I blew open the big door of my rocket launcher and slipped by the alien grunts and used the crossbow on these Vortigons to put them in the "oh, I'm hurt, oh!" state and ran by all of them. Then I walked into a bunch of people shooting each other, so I waited out until only 1 Vortigon was alive from the whole fight. That took multiple reloads to do. I broke the vent and oh god, that's a ton of snarks. Thankfully, snarks explode after a certain amount of time, so I just had to stand outside playing patty cake with the Vortigons until all of them died. Then I used the snarks to jump by these guys and ran outside. It was really hard to get that door open without blowing up the soldier standing next to it and getting a grenade to the face. I realized that the guy's really trigger happy with the grenade launcher, so I threw a whole bunch of snarks his way and he blew himself up along with the other guy. And then it revealed a ton of freaking alien grunts. I used the Tau cannon to jump past a bunch of them and just managed to get past them all. And then I ran past a whole bunch of enemies, then juked this alien grunt like a boss, then I had to jump through this building without getting murdered. This freaking guy that waits for you at the stupid valve door is so damn annoying. I had to struggle with using starts to distract him and everything until he eventually blew himself up or something. I don't know what killed him. And I used the head crabs in the next room against the soldiers to have them all kill each other. Then I went through, ran past some guards, had Barney take care of them, then had Barney kill a bunch of aliens outside. But then all of a sudden, Barney just stood there. He would just stand there and do nothing forever. And it's always at that specific spot. After looking around, I realized he was freaking staring at the alien that was just up there in the building. Legit no way at all to get the creatures to move away from there, and Barney just refused to move any closer. So I had to reload a save and this time lead that alien grunt away from that area so Barney wouldn't lock eyes on it. Finally, I get the door open and do the stupid missile thingy and I finally got out of this damn chapter. Forget about Freeman wasn't too difficult. It was definitely a breath of fresh air with less Marines, that's for sure. I ran past most of the enemies and used the crossbow to injure the Vortigons. And I made my way through the tunnels underground. I had to use my remaining snarks to distract all the guards, and then I reached the freaking huge alien war part. Luckily, using the tank gun, I did not kill anybody, but getting past all the enemies without dying was such a pain in the ass. I had to use the Tau cannon to attempt to fly past everyone, but this freaking alien turret kept capturing me! After around 30 minutes, I finally made it to... We are officially on the final 5 chapters, guys. We are almost done. Almost done. We've come so far, and definitely employed some questionable tactics, but I was feeling pretty confident in beating this game without killing a single enemy. Then I reached the last assassin room, and oh my god, this was so bad. I mean, really bad. I couldn't kill any of the assassins, and they were all hit scanned and able to move wherever they want. So I came up with a plan to use grenades to put them into a damaged state, and then depend on RNG or something to just run past all of them without shooting me. And I made it after several attempts. Everything was going so well, though, until tragedy struck. I met this guy, and he promptly killed me. Then, I realized that the door out of here is locked, and there is absolutely no way to get past unless the scientists open the door. And they never did. No lucky glitch like last time wouldn't even help me. And I really did try. I tried so hard to figure out a way past. I even tried jumping through the tiny windows, but I was unable to do it. So, with a heavy heart, I must declare this challenge failed. But I didn't stop there. What, you thought I would give up? Have you ever seen a challenge video before? I promised myself I wouldn't kill a single enemy after this point. And damn it, I will do as I say.
I couldn't risk opening that door until I was sure you had scoured the area. This is the last...
You know, if I wasn't doing this challenge right now, I would have fucking blown you into smithereens! Lambda Complex just sucked a bunch. But thankfully I had my friend Barney again, and I utilized him to kill some aliens, and I made my way to the pumps and enabled them. And the rest was actually pretty easily done. I had to use a grenade launcher jump to skip past a bunch of enemies, and I reached the portal to Zen. It was actually pretty easy to avoid all the mind controllers, and I jumped into the portal, and then we reached... This chapter is too short and too easy. Alright, so about Gonarch's lair. I thought this was going to be extremely hard, but then I remembered that actually I'm allowed to damage Gonarch to continue the path since she doesn't die until the end of the map. So, I got to unleash a bit of my built-up bloodlust. Thankfully, it wasn't too hard to avoid her attacks, and I made it to the end, and I blew my way out of the lair with a few well-placed explosions. At this point, I was super confident I was going to reach the end. One more chapter after all. Thankfully, you can skip past the first map by quickly jumping on this racing pillar, and the other map wasn't too bad either. I just ran like hell. Now, the third map, this was actually pretty difficult. The Vortigaunts were pretty hard to dodge at first, but then I used the crossbow to injure them and distract them just enough to reach the safe healing part of the map. I then waited for the perfect moment to jump onto the elevator and rode it up with this dude while he tried to murder me. And then, I made it to the island. I honestly cannot believe I reached how do you pronounce his name? Nihilant's portal, and only needing to kill 4 enemies, I managed to reach over here. It was pure pain, but it was all worth it. Obviously, you can't beat the game without killing Nihilanth. So now, I get to go full murderous psycho. Time to let out all the anger and hatred I've been building up inside of me. Yeah, boy, let's do it! Well, that was pretty fun to do. Anyways, thank you for reaching the end of this video. Looking at the enemy score, I only had to kill 4 enemies. 8 if you count the tentacles and the Nihilinth. But come on, they don't even count. And even though technically I failed the challenge, I still think it's very impressive I beat the whole game without killing any other enemies. So, that's good enough for me. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell and share the video, and why not comment suggestions for other challenges I should do in the future. It'd mean a lot to do any of those. I work on these videos all by myself, and I'd really appreciate it if you help me bump me up in the algorithm. If this video reaches 2,000 likes, I will try to beat Half-Life 2 without killing a single enemy. Oh boy, I can't wait for that. Now if you would excuse me, I have some unfinished business to take care of. I'll see you guys later.